Hello everybody, my name is Aryan Chudasma and today I will give you a brief demo of my third-person shooter game called Ghost Takedown. First I will explain you some of the key components of the code, then we will move on to the demo. By the way, you can also skip to the demo part if you want to and not see the code. Do not hurt my feelings. Okay, so let's start with the code explanation. I've been working on a few things such as the score recently, so this is all about that. Okay, let's start. Okay, anyways, so we will first start with explaining the player. Here it is. And this requires a type of right up there, body, since well, this is what it uses to move. And of course it needs a player controller. We'll open up that too. There. By the way. And then it requires a type of gun controller. We will also open that. Where is it? I can't find it. Here it is. So let's see. And yeah, the class player extends to a type of living entity, which I believe I kept somewhere around here. Yeah, there it is, and which is seen as damageable, and I believe there's somewhere around here. There it is. So let's start from here. So this is an interface. This is something you just must import. There are two take hit overloads. Apparently that's what they're called. One is the simpler one, which is used just by the player since it doesn't have any particle effects. And the other take hit is the one takes in a parameters of vector 3 position and vector 3 hit direction. Okay, and then yeah, moving on. Living entity there. It extends to the mono behavior and damageable, the one I just explained to you. So here's what it is. Public float start health. This is set right here, and it's virtual because, well, yeah. So that both can be run at the same time without any one of them being ignored. Apparently, that's how it works. So so we have a float start health for start health, which is apparently set here in this protected virtual world. Protected just basically means only the stuff that extends to it can access it. And yeah, this is property. This is a property different from a variable. Here you can have it just set it to get, where you can only get the value, and protected set meaning only stuff that extends to the living entity, and by extends I mean based on, like this. They extend just by putting a colon and then the type of script or the script or slash the interface. You can extend to multiple scripts just by putting a comma. But then there is the protected bolded, just to make sure that these guys can access it. Don't know how it makes sense though. Anyways, this is the public event of it, system.action on death. This is useful for, well, when the enemies want to check, or the spawner or whatever wants to check if the player or something has died, which is apparently very, very useful nowadays and right now. Then since I have extended to the damageable, let me just show you. I have to keep these two functions in my living entity class, and I did. It's kind of compulsory. It is. And then there is this virtual here because, well, I wanted I wanted the enemies to be able to override it, so the player does not need to override it. And it doesn't really. So both of these are virtual and they're public, meaning they can be accessed by everything. So this is very helpful since you want the bullet to be able to hurt the enemy. So very important. Oh, here it is. This is for the regenerate. I've removed this function recently because it makes the stuff just too easy. Oh, here it is. This is for the self-destruct button. You can see it right. Sorry, I have to open that up. Right there. Self-destruct. This just puts it in the context menu or in the right click menu like this. You can you click self-destruct, it accesses the menu. Also, I can't run it right now, it would show an error like so. That's unexpected. Yeah, we need to work on that. Moving on. Oh, here it is. So yeah, here's the gun controller. By the way, it's not public, meaning it does not appear as a field here. You can't see it because, well, it doesn't exist. Oh wait, you see that? Start health. I don't see a field here of start health. Do you? Seriously, you don't. The reason it pops up is because I kept it over here. Public float start health. So yeah, that's how it shows up. Then if you don't put a private or any kind of access modifier before it, it's defaultly taken to be private. I think, I don't remember. Oh, by the way, this is just for one way to make sure that it goes in a particular direction. I found this works somehow. I don't remember how it just works. The movement direction, I guess. I don't know why I named it like that. Oh, here's the crosshair script. Here's the crosshairs. We'll discuss about that too as well. Here is the override. You can override functions by just saying. We need to remember which one this is. Public. Well, it's protected, so you have to put protected. If it's public, you gotta keep public. Protected override void start. And then just says base.start. By the way, in the awake method, this is like the start method, except it works. It works. Sorry, I don't remember. It executes when this happens. When the player turns on. Sorry, the player is activated. As in that button when it's turned on. Okay, one more thing. Yeah, this guy will try to find the game object of type spawner, because it won't always have the spawner script, because, well, they have a survival spawner as well. So if it can't find spawner, then it'll look for a survival spawner, as you can see. I don't want to do if then else because, well, it's just very long. So I use the try catch. So if there is an error here, then it'll just do this. No need to worry about anything else. I could debug .log warning, but it's not very much of an issue anyways. By the way, you can access all the stuff by just clicking. Like, I can directly go to the update box like that. Okay, moving on. Still forgot to remove that comment anyways. Okay, so here's the movement input. Yeah. So this was in which direction, how much, what is the value of a particular axis. Horizontal apparently just means the A and A keys, or the left or right keys. 0 because because of some 2D physics and all that, the Y direction is up, so I have to set this to 0. And Z is lying flat on the ground. So vertical. This just stands for WS, or up and down keys by default. Oh, and I don't use get axis raw because doing my own smoothing would require a lot of code, and if I have an option to do, if Unity can do the smoothing for me, I don't think it's necessary for anybody to do the smoothing. though that you do have that option to have absolutely no smoothing. Many prefer to do smoothing in by themselves, but well, I prefer the simplicity. So this all stuff is assigned to move input, and velocity is assigned, this is speed, is assigned to move input dot normalized. Yeah, it returns the vector with the magnitude of 1. Still I want to start work on that a little bit. By the way, then it says player controller dot I, which we will talk about soon. Let's just talk about it right now. Public static player controller I. This means it's static, meaning you can just directly access it without without having any instance issues. And yeah. Whereas here it is, rigid body, my rigid body, vector 3 velocity. It's so here it is, bool locked. I'm gonna comment that out. Apparently I did some earlier editing and I had some issues, so I attached this. No need to see that. So yeah, this is what I used it for. No need to see that. I quite often use this commenting, especially after Visual Studio has this handy neat little trick where you can just comment stuff out like this: Control K, Control C, or Control K, Control U, which helps apparently. Okay, moving on. So start my rigid body dot game is equal to game object dot get component. Oh, fun fact, you can directly do like that. Figured it out recently out of the unit docs and all that. Okay, now to the I. It sets the I to this. This means, well, this class. The class, this class. It just means this class. So it sets I to this class. No need to do some often checking if there are multiple instances or all that, because there probably won't be any. Oh, here's a pretty good one. Public void move. It should be set velocity, but it's still that it. So it takes in a vector 3 velocity input, which it will just set this velocity variable to this input variable. Oh, and by the way, I'm using fixed update for the movement because rigid body movements work better in a fixed update, so that it's called in a fixed time, and so you need to use fixed time dot fixed delta time, not time dot delta time. Time dot delta time works better in just update, but I'm using fixed update, so I have to use fixed delta time. So yeah, it works better like this, so that it is not lagging or anything like that. It's called each, I don't remember, I guess it's 50 times per second, 50 times per frame second, I don't remember, really don't. Yeah, so that's the deal about the fixed update. And public void look at should be kept, and you can rename it like that, and no errors, just except that. Oh, by the way, all those warnings that you saw were just because of some NGUI issues I was currently facing. Can't go around fixing all of them, so just going to ignore any warnings. There are stuff very bad. So it will look at a particular point X, transform dot position dot Y. You need to do that to make sure it doesn't look down at or up at a particular position, just like that. So it sets the look point, it creates a new vector 3, and it sets the look point dot X to transform dot position dot Y, and look point, and it sets the Z to look point dot Z. This is very, very important so that it looks straightforward. Then it says transform dot look at. It's a handy method, so it's very useful. And also one more thing, so I don't have to do all this. Okay, going on. So it moves, so it passes in normalized and velocity. Then it's look input and says ray we're gonna do a ray cast, by the way. Ray, we're gonna call it, it's called ray. Camera dot main, this just gives you the main camera. I really don't want to do some variable assigning because it, variable assigning. And then it says screen point to ray, it's a handy function. And here's the thing, mouse position. Yeah, it converts the screen point to ray. Screen point as in a vector to position on the screen. Then it creates a plane called ground. Well, it's a mathematical plane, not a physical plane. So we do have those. Then just checking. Yeah. And we have a vector. Then it creates it facing in the normal up, vector3 dot up, and its position is at vector3 dot 0, obviously. And well, since it's a mathematical plane, it can extend up to infinity, apparently, since there isn't anything like that, I guess. So moving on, float ray distance, we just need that. I don't think I'm ever going to use it though. Alright, vector3 point. This is the point at which it contacted. Yeah, at the point at which it contacted. If ground dot raycast, it does a raycast onto the ground. Ray using this ray, and it outs it to ray distance. By the way, out and ref are basically the same thing. Just giving you info. Out means that it expects the stuff to be uninitialized, meaning you can't access it. And ref, and you must assign a value to out. And ref means you don't have to assign a value to out, you just need to see it. And ref and out allow you to change the actual instance of the variable instead of just changing the local copy, which isn't very useful if you want to have multiple outputs and all that. It's similar to the pointers you might have seen in C and C++. That's how I think of it, the pointers of C#. So it sets the point, the vector3 position, to ray.getPoint. It will get the point at which the contact ray distance, and then it says player controller dot instance. I stands for instance. Didn't want to make it too long, so just set it to capital I. The dot instance. Those, by the way, are some other stuff I was working on earlier. I'm gonna remove those soon. If I ever need them, I'm still keeping them around. Then it says crosshairs dot transform dot position. Well, yeah, here it is. It sets the crosshairs transforms position is equal to point, the point of contact, and then it calls a method in crosshairs, the crosshair script called detect targets. I'm gonna open up the crosshair script just to show what it's made up of. Okay, so layer mask, target mask, sprite renderer dot color dot highlight color. Okay, and yeah, it's all self-explanatory. Nothing to see there. Yeah, no. Yeah, never mind about that. Alright. So it sets the original dot color, and it's set here. Oh, and it also sets the cursor dot visible to false. Very important because you don't want to see the pointer around. You might be able to if in the recording, because my current recorder shows the cursor no matter what. And the original dot color, it sets it to the current sprite renderer dots color start. And then in the update, it rotates it a certain amount, vector3 dot forward minus 40 in the negative direction, and time dot delta time used it update, fixed delta time used a fixed update, reminding you. Then it says public void detect target, so everybody can access it. Then it says ray, which ray? Then it says if physics dot raycast ray 100 target mask, then yeah, that works. It does a raycast from the physics class through the ray, the distance 100, and the target mask. If it is true, then you set it to dot color is equal to dot highlight color. Else you set it to original dot color. Got it? So we're gonna close all of this. Yeah. And then it says, yeah. Okay, this is to check if it isn't too close, because if it were too close, then the gun controller, it will, right here, it will start aiming in weird ways, and we don't want that at all. So this is to check if it's not too close, the crosshairs aren't too close to the point. Then it says if input dot get mouse button 1. This means that if I click the right mouse button, it will go in the particular, it will go forward, right there. It will go forward, time the delta time, because, yeah, there. And then it says times 2, just so it goes a little bit faster. I just like it like that. And then it says, so here's the weapon input and all that. If input dot get mouse button 0, left click, then it says gun controller dot on trigger hold, meaning you press the trigger. That's how it works. So yeah, get mouse button just means that get mouse button down. It just detects it the first time you press it. And get mouse button up means that when you let go of it, it will show that. So gun controller dot on trigger release. This is useful for just a single shot per hold. Not very useful for automatic and all that. Input dot get key down key code dot r. This checks if a particular key is down, and it's key code dot r. R stands for reload currently, and it reloads the gun. And as I assigned up here, it assigns the event there. It assigns the event of, where is it? Here it is. System.action event int on new wave. This just means that it can be called, and multiple scripts can subscribe to it, and it will be called in a new wave. So if there is a new wave, then it says int wave number. Health is equal to start health, so it resets the health in case of a new wave. And it says gun controller dot equip gun wave number -1. -1 is because, well, we want it to be a little bit intuitive. Then I'm going to here, I overridden the die script because I wanted to, in the player script you want to have some loose music rather than no music. So it will first play audio manager's instance.play sound 2D. 2D means that, well, I really don't know what's the difference, but yeah. Meaning that it can only be heard from a particular place. And then it says base.die, meaning it will call die function from base. Then it says, but before that it will run this instances. Okay, then going on, player controller. I did explain you all of this, right? Yeah, I did. We won't be needing that. Still gonna keep it around if we ever will. So, public transform weapon hold. This just means the position at which you want the guns to be instantiated. And public gun all guns. This, as you already guessed, is all the guns. Then it says, and gun is nondescript, which I will be explaining soon. There it is. Yeah. So then it says currently equipped gun. And it's a public word because some other scripts might want to equip another gun. They might have other ideas and all that. if equipped gun is not equal to null, then you say if this currently is not equal to null, meaning this does exist and it is an actual game object, then destroy it first. Then do some instantiation at weapon hold position, weapon hold rotation, and weapon hold as parent. Cast it as a gun. This just says this is another overload of this method, and it takes in an index, meaning this. Okay. So it equips the current gun with all the. It gets the the gun at the index position of all guns, right here. Apparently, I can't show you that. So it calls equip gun with the gun or the gun from all guns at the position index. And then it is public void on trigger hold. This just makes sure we won't have. This just reroutes all of the. Reroutes all of the control. Hold it. Control D. That was a Mac ending. Not very good. We're supposed to use Windows. Control K, Control D helps with formatting and all that. And D function in Visual Studio. If equipped gun is not equal to null, you can't quite do that there. You'll have multiple gun issues and all that. So it will be rerouted through the gun controller, and it checks all of this. Not null, and equipped. Then it says equipped gun dash reload, just like that. Then aim is also in the gun script, but it just checks it if it isn't null. And this is a property. Again, you will be seeing it a whole lot more in the player practice manager. So that is, and it's just a get, meaning you can't quite set this. So it just returns the weapon hold.position.y. And this is useful for when you want to point the gun and all that. Then it says on trigger release. On trigger is released, reload, and on trigger hold. Going on to guns. Okay. So these are all the fire modes. Auto, automatic. You keep holding the trigger and it constantly keeps shooting, no issues. Then it's burst, a certain amount of bursts per second, and single, just one bullet. Then it says public fire mode, firing mode. I'm gonna have to work about that spelling and all that, but not much of an issue right now. Then it says public transform muzzle, the place place at which the bullet is going to be instantiated. Then say public projectile bullet. No projectile script. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. And it takes in a bullet projectile anyways. Then it says float milliseconds between shots at 1000 F. We'll have to set it to 500 F. That's actually the correct one. Then it says muzzle velocity. Forgot, it has to be 6. It was just too fast earlier. This just means the default value when you assign the script to a particular object. You can change it later, it's not always like this. Then it says burst count, how many bursts they will be. And I also have to set that to 10. I think 3 would be better. That 10 is for projectiles per magazine. Mag just means magazine. And then the time it takes to reload. So header, this just gives a header to the first stuff. Kick, recoil and all that. With maximum and minimum, and angle, maximum and minimum. The recoil settle time, recoil rotation settle time. Effects, reload clip, shoot clip. Those currently turned out to be failures since I really don't want to waste time. It says next shot time. It's all gun flash, the flash, and Trigger released since last shot. It's a boolean. And then shots remaining in the burst. Projectiles remaining in magazine. Recoil, move, smooth, recoil, smooth, damp velocity, and recoil rotation, smooth, damp velocity, recoil angle, and is reloading. So it says the gun flash to game object dot get component gun flash. So do. Then it says shots remaining in burst to burst count. Yeah. Projectiles remaining in magazine is equal to projectiles per magazine. Late update just means, I don't know why I did it, but yeah, late update, so that no issues. So it says transformed or local position is equal to vector 3 dot smooth damp. Okay, it animates the recoil. It just moves the transformed or local position to vector 3 dot 0. And at reference recoil smooth damp velocity. Yeah, it was said that, don't know where. And then the recoil moves at all time. Just gonna see what it means, so I can explain it properly. Vector 3 dot smooth damp, and I currently use vector 3 current, vector 3 target, vector 3 current velocity, and smooth time. The smoothened time. So yeah, that's it. Then it says the recoil angle mathf dot smooth damp. Basically the same thing as this, except it's mathf instead of it takes in numbers, floats and integers instead of vector 3 values, and it works for the angles, not. And then it has transformed or local Euler angles is equal to transformed or local Euler angles plus vector local Euler angle just means the actual Euler angles xyz, not quaternions, plus vector 3 dot left times recoil angle left. Yeah. Then it checks if it is reloading. Then it says if is not reloading and projectiles per magazine not equal to is equal to 0, then it says reload. This means if it's already not reloading and the projectile remaining mag is equal to 0, it will never go below, because it won't shoot, and shoot is the only function in which it's decreased. Then it checks if it's not reloading, then it won't shoot, and if time dot time is equal to next shot time, which is somewhere down there, then it says projectile dot mag remaining in mag is not equal or less than 0, meaning it has to be more than 0 or else none of this will happen. If firing mode is equal to fire mode at burst, if, then could have done a case, but this also works. Then it says shots remaining burst is equal to 0. If it is, then you just return, nothing else. Then else it says shots remaining in burst minus. Else if firing mode is equal to fire mode dot single, then if trigger has not been released since last shot, return. That says next shot time is equal to time dot time plus milliseconds between shots, not seconds, so we'll have to divide by 1000. And it instantiates a projectile like that, bullet position, rotation, and we'll also set it to be a parent, but not right now. Then it says the new projectile dot set speed muzzle velocity. It basically just sets the speed of a projectile to muzzle velocity, this stuff that I sent. Then it activates gun flash. Activates gun flash. Then it sets a transform dot local position minus so it just moves it backwards a little bit. And recoil angle is equal to random.range, and recoil angle you have to clamp it between two certain values just for safety purposes, so it doesn't get too high, so 30 only. And then it says audio manager.instance.play sound. It plays the sound shoot clip at transforms.position. Then it just reduces the projectiles in mag -1. Public void reload. If is not reloading and projectile remaining in mag is not equal to projectiles for mag, meaning if the projectile, if the magazine is already full, then you don't want to reload anyways. So then it starts the coroutine, animate the reload, this guy. Then it plays reload clip and just moves up, moves down. This extra minimum stuff. Then this makes it aim, shoot, trigger hold, trigger release. It sets that trigger release in slash shot is equal to false, and on trigger release, release in slash shot is equal to true. Shots remaining in burst is equal to burst rate. It hides in inspector the vector shader direction. It's sort of the way that I did earlier. Now it says public float speed, damage, lifetime. And this just assigns it very quickly. Speed, it can be set to 0 as well, since you don't need to see it. I cannot even want to shoot anymore. So, public float and copy and out. Lifetime is how long it lasts, and the damage. The speed is set by the gun as your condition, so you don't need to see it in the inspector. Then it sets the speed to underscore speed because, well, it's already assigned there. Sorry. Then it says start, destroy game object in lifetime. This is very helpful. And then it says color. Then it just checks if anything is around it. And it checks if it is a damageable object and it contains the enemy, and it's an enemy, then just call it take hit from that enemy, and this just makes it translate in a particular direction with the current speed. And on trigger enter collider call and damageable object and all that, the same thing that I did up here, except this just gets rid of the first stuff in a certain range. If the stuff is too close, you can't hurt it. And it's a public game object flash folder where all the flashes will be holded. The sprites, the flash sprites, sprite renderers, flash time, how much time it lasts. It starts deactivate flash folder set active false. Activate, it sets it to true. Then flash sprite index is equal to random.range, and yeah, this just gets the flash sprite index. And then it assigns each and every one of the, could have used a for each loop, but I used this instead, so no issues. Then it is sprite renderer I sprite is equal to flash sprite index. It basically just assigns whichever the sprite renderer sprite to the flash sprites, the sprite at flash in index flash sprite index. We haven't discussed about audio lately. Let's go on to that. Master volume %, nobody needs to access this, so I think it's private. sound effects volume, music volume, and audio source music. This just has this. It absolutely has absolutely nothing. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Moving on. In the start function, it sets the time scale to 1. Why do we need that? Because once the game is ended, it sets the time scale to some very slow time scale. Apparently, I think 0.1. And I figured that the audio manager is in all the scenes no matter what. So I kept, and while you're playing, it doesn't get set back to 1 every time you load a new scene. So I put it in here because the audio manager is going to be in all the script. The scenes. It doesn't make much sense, but it works, and I know it's in all of the scenes, so it still always sets the time scale to 1. And this is the awake. If instance is not equal to null, this was if we didn't have the don't destroy and load, we won't be needing that, so that this works. Because I want a few others, different types of audio managers, and because I have different types of music managers. Then it checks if the instance is not equal to null and destroys. This is helpful if you have multiple audio managers. Else instance is equal to this, like we said before. Then it says music source is this, that particular one is equal to new audio source 2. And for all of this, you just the number of music sources. This is for crossfading and all that, very helpful. And the new sound effects 2D source. Sound effects 2D source, everybody can hear it. And audio listener, find audio listener is equal to find object of type audio listener dot transform. It's transform. Try this just is much easier than trying to check if this exists or not. Try catch, just wrap it in a try catch block. It will try to find a player. If not found, then don't bother. Library, it gets the sound library on the game object, which I have. Yes. Then refresh, it refreshes all of this. Oh, player process manager is available in utility format, which I put there. Then it says music sources, active music source index.volume. The active music source is stated before, music volume % times master volume %. And then it checks if player is not equal to null, audio listener dot position is equal to player dot position. It's not here. And it says public. Sorry, excuse me. Then it plays the music. Then there are a few play music. Overloads somewhere down there as well. Quite a few of them. Audio clip. This takes in an audio clip. Fade duration sets it to 1, not also set. Then it crossfades it, and this is what happens. Active music was clipped. Yeah. It sets the volume, also refreshing it. Player press or set volume, whichever you can set it from there. Then it plays the sound. Sound, music, very different. SFX, play sound, play sound, play sound. Sound name, volume as well is also given here for some very loud ones, which you might want to decrease. And for strings, we just library.get clip from name and all that. And it just doesn't work like that currently because you need to multiply the volume there as well. And it plays the music string sound name like this. It gets the library, sound library and all that, and then it plays the sound 2D, plays a 2D sound, and then it animates the musical crossfade. Whew. Music manager. I'm just going to remove it. because I had done that. Sound library, sound library, sound library. There it is. Sound groups, down there. Group ID and audio clips. Oh, this by the way just means the name of it in the inspector. Very helpful. See that? Yeah. Audio clip is equal to get clip from name, string name, get, and all that. So it'll add to this dictionary. Yeah. Audio clip arrays. No way. So if a group dictionary contains the key name, surprising. Then it checks audio clip is array is equal to group dictionary name. Then it returns the sounds, return random.range, sound.length, returns a random object. Whew, I guess that's all you will ever need to hold it. Array library, pretty much the same as the sound library, except it accepts game objects instead of sounds. That's apparently the only difference. Moving on, music manager. Where is it? Come on. There it is. Whew. Public and all of this. Main theme and menu theme. Clip to play is equal to null. Scene name. We won't need that. It was needed when I worked with an earlier version of Unity. Now it's not required anymore. Then audio manager.instance or play music menu theme crossfade in 2 seconds. Audio was loaded is another default function called by my behavior scripts, and it sets the int scene index. Scene name as named in one, keep it to 1. Then it's a scene manager brought in from there, that get active scene dot name. If s name is not equal to scene name is equal to s name, and it will invoke play. I didn't want to make any mistakes, so I just kept it p. Then set it to point to f in about half a second. 1/5. And then it's if clip it sets the clip to play is equal to null. It always sets the clip to play to null. That keeps happening. Then it says scene name is equal to menu. Then clip to play is equal to menu theme. If scene name is equal to game, then clip to play is equal to menu theme. We won't have a separate survival one because it survival. We have a different music manager for that. And then if clip to play is not equal to null, then audio manager.instance will play music clip to play 3. In 3 seconds, it will crossfade the clip to play whatever it is, and it will invoke play again in clip to play that line. That's not hurts. Oh, sorry, we won't do that much. Right, we haven't talked even a little bit about the enemy yet. This is a very busy script. Yeah, that's protected. If it ever wants to extend, it needs a nav mesh agent, collider, and a rigid body, and states, current state, and public floor speed, main materials index, attack distance threshold. Yeah, lots of stuff here which will matter much. So attack distance threshold, at what distance will start attacking, instant damage, When it touches, it will instantly destroy itself and do some instant damage to the player. Particles will also last for the amount of seconds there is. Public renderer, which renderer is using, and then it's which string, hurt sound and death sound. Death effects, enemy death will have different death effects and might have multiple death effects. Static color, which I really don't remember where it's used. It's bold. So if the color doesn't rename stay static, then we what about it when you get to that? Whew. Overridden was used when it was before, but I don't think we use it anymore. Okay, so public static event. This is used by the scorekeeper on hurt static and on death static. Target entity, the target transform. Target material, original material, next attack time, my collision radius, target collision radius, check each second. I don't think I used that anymore. I've done this for a while, yeah. Sorry about that, just checking. Okay, so this is a virtual, used it when it was won't be needing that much, but still gonna keep it around. Then it's set instantiated. There are two overloads for it. One that takes in instead of ectoplasm color. It used to keep it ghost, but now it's something else. So yeah, or it keeps material. Material, ectoplasm, not think, SKIN, skin material. I used ectoplasm because I earlier used ghosts. This is only used by ghosts, by the way. And if it is not overridden, like I said, we'll clean this up soon. It sets the pathfinder.speed to move speed. I've noticed it. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. Then it sets the base.start health to health, and it sets the base.health to health. I can still change it because it's protected health, not private health. Private setting. So if target is not equal to null, instant damage is equal to instant damage to player. So it will only bother about setting the instant damage if there is a target and all that. So if it is not a static color, meaning it doesn't change its color, then if rend is equal to null, meaning you don't have a rend, you have not assigned it, then you say rend is equal to get component renderer. Then it's a renderer dot shared materials main materials index up there, which is its main material, dot color is equal to ectoplasm color. This will only be used by ectoplasmic colors. Then this public virtual, this one is just the same as above, except it sets the material instead of the color. That's it. Awake. And Pathfinder is equal to game object Unity. It just gets the nav message from it. It's fine. If there isn't any player, then if there is a player, then then target is equal to player.transform. Target entity is equal to target.get component living entity. My collision radius and target collision radius are both capsule colliders, which I use. And target.onDeath is equal to on target death. Else it just sets its current state to idle, meaning doing nothing. And then start, base.start, check each seconds is equal to 1. Still don't know what that's for. And if target is not equal to null, then current state dot dot state current state is equal to state dot chasing. If there is a target, then it's the current state to chasing state. Sorry about that, somebody was barging in here. Then when it starts the coroutine update path down here, it just updates the path because we kept I enumerator so that because I wanted to wait for a little bit of refresh rate. Whew. Then it takes the hit over it, and if on hot static is not equal to null, and game object dot get dot find object of type. If there is a spawner, then just do the normal damage. If there is no spawner, that means it's a survival spawner. Then do half the damage to make it harder to get spawn. And yeah, this just means if you are about to die, then is not equal to now. Then on death static is equal to base dot stat health. I just called the die script with the start health of it, and then it plays the sound death at transform that position, and it gets and it instantiates each and every one of them to instantiates array library.i.get from name death effect. It gets death. It instantiates the effect from each death effect. Okay, moving on. Health, meaning it's not about to die, then it plays hurt sound. You don't want it to play the hurt sound if it's about to die, you just want to play the death sound. So it will then it will just take the hit normal way. And on target death means that current state is equal to state.idle. I'm pretty sure, yeah, maybe something will have that helps. I think it does. So I'm just gonna say that. This just, destroys everything, each and every attacker in case the player dies. Just to confirm that it works. Oh yeah, that's very well lost. So do that. Oh, is it? Motion blur. I just kept it just for notification and all that. And remember that self-destruct script is where it comes in handy. Let's just see. Self-destruct, and it dies out, right? Just rewound and delete this. Wasn't sure if that was going to work, so I said that. And update, it will check if it's next attack time. Then next attack time is equal to time.time check each second. Yeah, when it's going to attack next. Though it will instantly destroy itself. Do? Whew. If square distance to target, we want to keep it square just because well, it's easier for comparison. Squaring works better than square rooting, and square rooting takes some processing time. But comparison works just as well. You have to square both the sides as well. It will set the next attack time, and then it will start the coroutine attack. Here you don't want it to exactly die. Some enemies might have more than this. Maybe the Taskmaster 1 million has. Just checking. Right over there. Come on. Nope. I thought it's official, but if anything does have more than that, most likely won't. then it will destroy it. Then it will keep shooting over and over. Whew. This yeah, survival spawn. If it is development mode, was useful before, not anymore. It isn't. Spawn divider, just well, yeah. This is player press manager difficulty. Oh, speaking of which, I totally forgot. Utility, there it is. So this just randomizes the array. This one takes in a seed and this one does not. It's completely random. And scene management, load level overload. It's just many different ways to load a level. And audio managers and all that. Then this is how many objects of type are there in the screen. Very useful because if you want to ever know how many there are. And quit. Just use application.quit. But just to make it easier. Then there are some player press constants, master volume key, sound effects volume, audio volume, difficulty key, and all that. Volume function. This just sets the volume and sets the volume in all the volumes or sets a particular volume. Then it just gets the volume from particular channel. By the way, this thing you see here, I replaced. That thing is currently has been replaced by this property difficulty. It just basically gets set methods, so like this, and survival high scores and all that. I used properties instead of that because, well, I didn't want to write any more functions. No need to worry about that. Whew, by the way, moving on. Public vector to spawn randomized multiplier. It multiplies the spawn rate by between these two values. Then spawner multiplier increase. We set it default to 0, 0, 0. And then spawn multiplier increases each second is equal to 5f. Enemy details down there. Group ID, enemy prefab, frequency in seconds, speeds, random between speeds, random frequency, random shots to kill enemy, random instant damage player. If it is a material changer or color changer, we still work on that. Sorry, talking this much and my throat hurt. Whew. Then this finds the player press manager. I imported the utility's namespace. It's in a namespace, by the way. The difficulty and spawn divider is equal to 1 divided by this. It used to be longer, so I didn't use that before. Then it says player entity dot on death is plus equals play on player death. This just means up there it will assign the player dot on death event. It will subscribe its own on player death to on death. Then it will find the map generator. It's a hugely complex script, and I won't be explaining that. Trust me. Then its next spawn times is equal to new float enemies.length. This set creates a new float with the enemies.length. This is very much necessary, and then it will set all of that. Spawn multiplier increase time is equal to time.time plus spawn multiplier increases each second. There. So this is the sort of in between these two. Next spawn times array and start spawn multiplier, just to bring it down. If this ever exceeds this, just to bring it down. Then it's the map generator and yeah, on new wave as I showed you. And bool is disable. Okay, yeah, that just occurs if one player dies. Whew. So for int is equal to 0, I is 0. Yeah, this just lets me loop through everything. Next spawn times I is equal to time.time plus u random between vector 2 bounds enemies I dot that just gives utility random between vector 2 bounds is a function I created in utility namespace in utility class. Enemies dot I dot frequency in seconds. Random between vector 2 bounds, and this is times spawn divider. Just to see. Spawn and multiplier random increase, and then it just calls next wave. So there will only be one wave. Seriously, there will only be one wave. And if it is not disabled, then for each, then it will check if it is time to spawn. Then it will reset this, and then it will spawn. And spawn. This just basically increases the spawn multiplier. Spawn randomized multiplier. This just brings it down if one ever exceeds the other. So this thing takes in details, enemy details, that an enemy is equal to enemy dot enemy prefab. We have the current enemy. So float spawn delay is equal to 1. The delay in spawn is equal to 1. Title flash speed. The tiles will flash before something appears. Spawn tile is equal to map dot get random open tile material is equal to tile dot material is equal to this sets the materials initial color and flash color. Spawn time is equal to 0. This just ping pongs between them, and it will do it every frame. And just time times time. Then it will spawn the enemy like so. Button data. And then if it is not a material changer, then it will set the colors. If it is a material changer, then it will set the materials instead. And on player death, then you set it to is disabled is equal to 2. And reset player position is used in the next wave if it is ever moved. And then next. So on new wave is equal to if on new wave is not equal to null, then call on new wave at the index.1. System.serializable means that it can be in the viewport. Okay, right. Now, of course, the scorekeeper. Last kill enemy time and kill streak count. Kill streak expiry time, the time in which the kill streak goes away. Start, it will set the enemy dot on hearth static and on death static to it will assign its own. And find object dot type player dot on death plus play on player death. Why does this use it? Because does this good. Also on enemy hurt score plus equals int damage. It will convert it to an int and score is equal plus equals damage. So yeah, also it's static int and it's a private set, but a public get. So on enemy killed. So once an enemy dies, enemy health. If time is equal to last kill enemy time plus kill streak. Just checks. If time is not expired, then you set it to 0. If not, then you just do plus. And last enemy kill time is equal to time.time. And score is equal to plus equals int Enemy health plus mathf.power 2 raised to the power of kill streak count. Okay, so yeah, that's all we will be needing to know. Now let's finally see some good stuff and a good demo. Yeah, it's still on, just checking. Just gonna reduce that instead of too loud. That's the high score, the options. Not yet. Oh, that's amazing. By the way, this stuff only works in the bed. Sets the resolution. So already it sort of snaps pretty good. Back stats. See, I played it before, so that's why it says that. I'm gonna go. Quit doesn't quite work. I'm gonna go to survival and see. See, it's automatic. Also, the level is much better. I'm using the right click to move. Yeah, I think I got it. Yeah. We'll work on that later. See. I'm gonna go to game. Not game. Survival. That was basically actually the old one, and this I got from a few assets pack I downloaded. So let's various obstacles where I thought I was going to use it, but I'm not. It's empty, you can see that by them. And let me show you each and everything one by one. And by the way, you won't see it in its full vibrant colors, since the vibrant colors are sort of set by the survival spawner. That dies in one shot currently because. And yeah, the health is also set by the survival spawner. And now it will be harder. Once it disappears, it means it is destroyed. It means it has done something damage. Oh, see that? I've used some image effects. Vignetting and chromatic aberration script. Oh, by the way, you haven't seen this one before. It's new. That sets the original position to transform that position and then it just adds the position of the player and its original position, so that you can just see the player from all directions. I couldn't parent it. I couldn't make the main camera child of the buster and all that, because it just didn't work like that, because then it would start spinning like crazy. Just like check it. Motion blur. It does what it says. See, motion blur. Put it a little bit more blurry. And that looks, yeah, that looks pretty good. And then increase that a little bit. That looks pretty good. Apply that. Increase that to something maybe 3. Extra blur. Extra blur. This just makes the stuff even more blurrier than it was supposed to be. Now let's see. Rapid fire wouldn't last very long. It was right. They just start cornering you and all that. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it to go. And as far as I'm concerned, it's noticed something and did set it here. Right? Okay, 13. Yeah, we have a separate server. Must be damaged from afar. This is about it. This is what I'm going to see.